This channel is sponsored by the Army Painter.
While there's recently been a glut of chapter-specific variations on the 1st Company Task Force with the Hammer of Avernii and Emperor's Shield detachments, we haven't yet covered the vanilla flavor of ice cream that they all spring from. Today we're covering the most elite of the basic Codex detachments, the 1st Company Task Force, a detachment focusing on Terminators and veterans of all flavors. For detachment focuses, painting tutorials, and more, subscribe to us here on YouTube. To read more, head to goonhammer.com. Link in the description. Detachment Rule: Extremis-Level Threat. Once per battle, in your command phase, you can choose to use this ability. Until the start of your next command phase, when models with the Oath of Moment ability attack your Oath of Moment target, you can reroll the wound roll. The problem here should seem pretty immediate. You can only use this ability once. It should all but guarantee that one thing you wanted to kill is certainly dead, but you're really only getting one battle round of benefit out of your entire army rule. This is a great opportunity to fish for devastating wounds with your Stern Guard and Thunderhammer equipped models, but once your target's dead or the battle round's over, you're back to not having a detachment rule. Both the Hammer of Avernii and Emperor's Shield detachments are pretty flat upgrades of this one, but if you want to run characters other than Canuck, Var, or Lysander, this is where you'll have to go to try out a veteran-themed detachment. While that does open up loads more possibilities with list building, making up for those two characters is gonna be a tall order. The enhancements are decent, with a solid mix of durability, attack power, and objective control. Only Fear-Made Manifest is a true dud. The Imperium Sword gives the bearer +1 attack and a once per game ability to give the bearer's whole unit +1 attack as well. It's pretty mean on a squad of Blade Guard or especially a big squad of Assault Terminators. Rites of War gives a Terminator character +1 OC and once per game gives +1 OC to the bearer's unit. OC2 Terminators is pretty decent, and cranking them up to OC3 with an Ancient can easily flip an objective. Fear-Made Manifest causes enemy non-vehicle and non-monster units that fail a battle shock test to lose a model, or D3 models once per game. This is really funny if you can have it go off on something like a character below half wounds, but it's too unreliable to ever see real use. Iron Resolve gives a Terminator character a 5-up Feel No Pain, and once per game, they can give their whole unit a 5-up Feel No Pain too. If you want to make a tanky Terminator captain with a nigh indestructible brick of 10 Terminators, this is what you'll want to do. Note that the Terminator Chaplain confers a 4-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds already, so it might not be as useful on him. The stratagems here are largely locked to Terminators, Stern Guard, Blade Guard, and Vanguard veterans. Armor of Contempt is the same here as in any vanilla Marine detachment, reducing the AP of incoming attacks against one of your units by 1. It's always welcome and can get some extra mileage in an army built around 2-up saves. Heroes of the Chapter gives a +1 to hit bonus when a unit's below starting strength, and a +1 to wound bonus when they're below half. This punishes your opponent for pinging off a random model with incidental fire, as your Terminators or Blade Guard swinging on a 2-up is reasonably scary, though by the time you're getting +1 to wound, your squad is likely too damaged to be effective. Obviously, it's best on bigger units. The only thing terrifying about Terrifying Proficiency is how many hoops you have to jump through to make it work. After one of your veteran units charges and destroys an enemy unit, every enemy unit within 6 inches of your squad has to take a battle shock test, and a -1 if they're below half strength. It happens in place of any normal battle shock tests instead of stacking with them, so its use is somewhat limited. You might get lucky if you've got a squad in the middle of your opponent's army though, and the timing means it could deny some objective scoring. Duty and Honor is a simple sticky objective stratagem, great for your elite, melee heavy force to allow them to move around the table. Orbital Teleportarium is an uppy-downy stratagem for one of your Terminator units, though after pulling a unit up with it, they have to come down in your following movement phase. That means you can't hold on to units for later, which slightly limits its use. Still, it's good for repositioning or just zipping around with an annoying Terminator Ancient to do some objective play. Legendary Fortitude subtracts 1 from the damage against one of your veteran units, but only if they were the target of a charge that phase. This is almost a great stratagem, but it's too situational to really count on. Against an army with loads of multi-damage melee units like Knights, this can be fantastic. Into any sort of shooting heavy army though, you're not likely to use it at all. If you can tee it up right though, it'll make your Terminators or Blade Guard a brick wall. The biggest thing you'll need to work around is your detachment ability. Planning when to pull the trigger on it will be what can decide victory or defeat for your army. There are some natural targets for this. A huge infantry Death Star, tough vehicle like a Rogaldorn Commander, Dominus Knight, or even a Titan in a more thematic game, but if you don't manage to kill that target in the turn you pull Extremis-Level threat, it'll all be for nothing. Of course, if your opponent has several units like this, making that decision could be difficult, and you'll want to ensure the maximum number of units can take advantage of it. Worse is if you're up against an army that maybe doesn't have anything worth using those wound rerolls. You're not going to need much help cracking a bunch of Drukhari Venoms full of 5-man infantry squads, and any commitment of that ability will feel like overkill. Most of the stratagems and enhancements want you running bigger veteran units to benefit from them. After all, getting bonuses to damage output when you're below starting strength means a lot more on 9 Terminators than it does on 4. Leaning into that durability and playing the objectives is going to be the strategy here, and ideally a unit with a captain will be sticking an objective with duty and honor every turn. Start a veteran squad with a captain on an objective, sticky at turn 1, then hop on a transport parked conveniently nearby and rush off to the next one. Alternately, a deep-striking Terminator squad, even when pulled up with Orbital Teleportarium, could drop in and do the same on midfield objectives, or even in your opponent's deployment zone if they left it open. As this detachment isn't locked to a character or faction like its remakes, it does leave options open to try it with more chapter-specific units. That means Space Wolves and Dark Angels can put up some good results here, as their specific Terminator units can take advantage of the various buffs that the First Company Task Force offers. Unfortunately, other chapter-specific units like Inner Circle Companions, Sword Brethren, and Head Takers don't get much out of this, as they lack the Blade Guard, Vanguard, or Stern Guard keywords. Now let's go over the strengths and weaknesses. Versatility. Stratagems range from buffs to durability and damage output to sticky objectives, all of which enhance your units and help you adapt to your needs on the board. Objective play. Rites of War is a handy OC buff, while sticky objectives and uppy-downy stratagems play nicely with Terminator's deep strike abilities. Speaking of those Terminators, there's decent support here to make your Terminators better at what they do, and those benefits aren't locked to any single type of Terminator unit. Now unfortunately, as we mentioned, this detachment rule is limited use. It really only works for a single full battle round and only against a single target. It's elite. Your army is going to be low model counts to boost your Terminator and Veteran units, and every casualty will hurt. It's also largely outclassed. This is outdone by both the Emperor's Shield and Hammer of Avernii detachments, and those are in turn outshined by Gladius for its versatility and strength. Ultimately, this feels like watching the rough draft predecessor to a more refined remake. Of the detachments in the base Space Marine Codex, this definitely languishes behind most of the rest, in large part to having something of a dud first detachment rule. There's still some good tools in the stratagems and enhancements, and it's clear what the designers want you to do with it, but only having your detachment rule for a single turn is a real bummer. Maybe down the line it'll get rebalanced to bring it in line with some of the other variant lists, but for now, First Company is decidedly second rate. If you want to read more about this detachment and find everything you need to know about playing Space Marines, head over to goonhammer.com. Now why don't you designate that subscribe button an Extremis-Level threat and support us on Patreon to ensure we keep making videos like this one. You also get Discord access, extra features in tabletop battles, and bonus podcasts. I've been Cruxbell McTerminachlin, failing a frankly unreasonable number of 2-up saves. Thanks for watching.